हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, आई होप ऑल ऑफ यू आर डूइंग वेल एंड आपकी प्रिपरेशन भी अच्छे से चल रही है, ऐसी मैं उम्मीद रखती हूँ। आई होप इसके पहले वाले जो प्रीवियस वीडियोस हैं आपने गो थ्रू ज़रूर किए होंगे, क्योंकि आज के वीडियो में हम डिस्कस करने वाले हैं किस तरीके से हमने पैराग्राफ कंप्लीशन क्वेश्चन टाइप सॉल्व करने हैं। तो उसकी थ्योरी पार्ट मैंने इसके पहले वाले वीडियो में डिस्कस किया है। अगर आप चाहते हैं तो प्लीज़ इसके पहले वाले वीडियो में जाकर एक बार थ्योरी पार्ट देख लीजिए, सो दैट ये वीडियो आपके लिए और भी ज़्यादा इफ़ेक्टिव रहेगा। लेकिन अगर आपने ऐसा नहीं भी किया है तो भी इस वीडियो में मैं वो सारी स्ट्रैटेजीज़ वापस एक बार रिवाइज़ करने वाली हूँ। आई एम गोइंग टू रिवाइज़ ऑल द strategies, all the criteria in this video as well, so you can comfortably stay here and go through this video. So let us get started. The first thing we are going to start, पहली चीज जो हम स्टार्ट करेंगे is read the question. फिर we will go through the answer choices and then उसके बाद में हम eliminate करेंगे, elimination method इस्तेमाल करेंगे. We will eliminate all the unnecessary choices and that's how we are going to reach to the perfect solution or perfect option in पैराग्राफ कंप्लीशन क्वेश्चन टाइप, राइट? बट टू एलिमिनेट ऑल्सो हमको ये जानना पड़ेगा ना कि उसमें की सिमिलैरिटीज क्या है, पैराग्राफ और चॉइसेस के बीच सिमिलर क्या है, इसके बीच डिफरेंसेस क्या है. सो वो सारी चीजें हम इस वीडियो में करने वाले हैं विद द हेल्प ऑफ वन एग्जाम्पल. सो प्लीज स्टे ट्यून्ड and now let us get started. So the first thing we have to do here is we are supposed to read the question. So let's read the question, the passage first. The rise of renewable energy sources has been a significant development in the fight against climate change. So we are saying that renewable energy sources has been significant development in the fight against climate change. So if we want to really change the climate conditions, renewable energy sources are the future, right? Solar and wind energy in particular have proven to be both effective and sustainable. Even in this, what are we talking about? Renewable energy sources एक broader term है, उसमें भी हम किसकी बात कर रहे हैं? Solar and wind energy. We are talking about these two energies here. Have proven to be both effective. So these two are effective and sustainable. Governments around the world are increasingly investing in these technologies to reduce carbon emission and promote environmental sustainability. So in this entire paragraph, there are four things, the things that we have discussed in the previous video. I am revising it for you here. Please pay attention. First is scope, right? So scope means what all things have we covered here? What are the things we have covered? We are talking about renewable energy. Even in renewable energy, we are talking about two types of renewable energy here, solar and wind in particular. Then we are saying that governments are increasing their funding, investing in this type of technology to reduce carbon emission. So this is the scope of this particular passage, right? अब when we are looking at the choices, जब हम choices की तरफ मुड़ते हैं, इन्हें पढ़ते हैं, तो we have to keep this in mind कि scope क्या है, renewable energy है, उसके बाद सोलर और विंड एनर्जी, फिर गवर्नमेंट का इन्वेस्टमेंट टू रिड्यूस कार्बन emission. This scope is there and the answer choices that we are going to select, the answer choice that we are going to select to complete this paragraph should match this scope, right? Next thing हमको ध्यान देना है टोन पे. कौन सी चीज है नेक्स्ट? टोन. प्लीज ध्यान दीजिए, टोन बहुत बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है गाइस. इट्स वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग दैट यू शुड लुक फॉर. ओके, टोन. टोन क्या है यहाँ पर? अगर हम देखें तो कॉन्स्टेंटली हम कैसे वर्ड्स का इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं? सिग्निफिकेंट डेवलपमेंट इन द फाइट अगेंस्ट क्लाइमेट चेंज. हम कह रहे हैं कि ये जो है वो सिग्निफिकेंट डेवलपमेंट बता रहा है. फिर हम कह रहे हैं इफेक्टिव है, सस्टेनेबल है. फिर कह रहे हैं गवर्नमेंट अराउंड द वर्ल्ड आर इंक्रीजिंगली इन्वेस्टिंग, ये इस तरीके के हम वर्ड्स इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं जिसका मतलब है इसका जो टोन है इस पैराग्राफ का वो क्या है, पॉजिटिव. व्हाट इज द टोन हियर, पॉजिटिव. सो हम जो कुछ भी चूज करेंगे दैट शुड बी इक्वल टू positive tone, that should match this tone. Clear? Right? So we have talked about the scope, we have talked about the tone. Next is consistency. Right? Consistency and scale. Now we are talking about uh, first let's talk about scale. Right? What is the scale of this? We are talking about climate change overall, in an overall way, governments around the world. तो इसका scope क्या हुआ? इसका scope हुआ global. Okay? इसका scope है global. तो अगर हम इसका scope narrow down कर रहे हैं, तो we are not doing justice to it while selecting our option. Okay, the scope or the scale is global, not the scope, sorry, scale is global, right? So if we suddenly start talking about a city or much narrower scale here, then this won't work. Or if we start talking about different universe altogether, this will also not work. We cannot narrow it down too much or expand it too much. We have to maintain the scale. Okay, ये एक क्राइटेरिया हमको दिमाग में रखना है. नेक्स्ट इज कंसिस्टेंसी. हम देख रहे हैं कि इसकी कंसिस्टेंसी क्या है. हम कंसिस्टेंटली वी आर पॉजिटिव अबाउट दिस, दिस इज गोइंग टू हैपन, दिस इज गोइंग टू हैपन. Suddenly we cannot take a U-turn here. Okay, we cannot start talking about how it is not working. If we are talking about this, eliminate that option. In whichever option we are talking about this, we cannot suddenly talk about how climate change is, you know, not just dependent on this particular solution, but there are other ways also to deal with this. No, we don't want that in our paragraph. Our paragraph is talking about usage of renewable energy sources, investing in renewable energy sources, right? So we have to maintain that consistency too. Now, based on these four criteria, let us judge what choices we have and select the most appropriate one. Okay? सबसे जो ठीक लगती है, जो हमने क्राइटेरिया डिस्कस किए उसके बेसिस पे, the choice which is perfect, that is going to be our choice for paragraph completion here, right? The first is, this shift in energy production has led to a decrease in fossil fuel consumption. So very much in consistency, because we are saying that, the basic goal of this entire exercise is to reduce carbon emission. We are talking about carbon emission, and then we are continuing it by saying fossil fuel consumption has decreased. So this may work, right? But we have to go through all the other options also. We may get more appropriate option than this, right? So we have to keep on looking. The implementation of renewable energy sources requires major infrastructure change. Now, we are saying they are already investing in it with a very positive note. Now, when we are saying that it requires major infrastructure changes, so this suddenly makes that tone go from positive to negative, little in a grayer side, right? So वो ग्रे एरिया में लेके जाने वाला ऑप्शन जो है वो हम रिस्क नहीं ले सकते, क्योंकि वो अप्रोप्रिएट नहीं होगा बेस्ड ऑन द क्राइटेरिया वी जस्ट डिस्कस्ड, राइट? नेक्स्ट इज, सम कंट्रीज हैव बीन स्लो टू अडॉप्ट. हम फिर से क्या कह रहे हैं? स्लो टू अडॉप्ट रिन्यूएबल टेक्नोलॉजी ड्यू टू इकोनॉमिक कंस्ट्रेंट्स. But in paragraph, we are very positive. We are saying governments are investing. We are very sure that other countries will also invest in some time, right? So now the words like slow to adopt are also building negative tone. So we cannot end a positive passage on a negative tone. Again, this cannot be our option. Eliminate this. Next is this. The rise of renewable energy has been accompanied by a notable increase in global temperatures. ये तो उल्टा हो गया, हम तो भला करना चाह रहे थे और यहाँ पर ऑप्शन में लिखा गया है कि ग्लोबल टेम्परेचर ही बढ़ गया इसके कारण. So we are saying that uh, it only has positive effect on this world. If we are adding any negative effect, again that option cannot be the last sentence of our paragraph. So the most appropriate option here is what? Based on the criteria we discussed, option A. Why? Because the tone of this particular option is correct, right? And apart from that, it is maintaining the flow is also maintained, because here we are saying, see, what is the last sentence? The last sentence says governments around the world are increasingly investing in these technologies to reduce carbon emissions and promote environmental sustainability. So we are saying governments are investing because of such initiatives, it will reduce carbon emission. And then we are saying the shift in energy production has led to decrease in fossil fuel consumption. Yes, fossil fuel कम कंज्यूम हो रहे हैं क्योंकि हम बेसिकली अब डिपेंडेंट हो रहे हैं रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी सोर्सेस पे. अगर हम ऐसा कर रहे हैं तो अपने आप कार्बन एमिशन कम होगा एंड इट विल यू नो बी अ बेटर ऑप्शन इन फ्यूचर. दैट इज द रीजन option A is our final option, right? So, guys, this is how we are supposed to solve our questions for para completion. Make sure you are maintaining the consistency, you are maintaining the tone, you choose the option which is maintaining the scope and scale of that paragraph, right? तो ये सारे क्राइटेरिया ध्यान में रख के जब हम एक ऑप्शन चूज करते हैं तो वो ऑप्शन हमारा करेक्ट ही होता है. अब हम ऐसे ही कुछ और सवाल सॉल्व करेंगे हमारे नेक्स्ट वीडियो में. सो स्टे ट्यून्ड एंड सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट वीडियो.